If I told you that one private habit millions of men do every day could either protect your prostate or slowly damage it, would you believe me? Science has uncovered some jaw-dropping truths about daily masturbation and its impact on your prostate, blood flow, and even your mental health, and today, I'm breaking it all down in a way you've never heard before. Stay with me until the end, because what I reveal in the last section could change the way you look at your own body forever. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because the difference between harm and healing may come down to something you've been overlooking for years. First, let's be clear, your body at 25 is not the same as at 55. As you age, your prostate and circulatory system become far more sensitive. What once seemed harmless can suddenly carry bigger consequences. And here's where it gets shocking: what once relieved stress in your youth may have very different outcomes later in life. Stay with me, because the next part may explain things you've always felt but never connected. Blood flow is the lifeline of your prostate. Without strong circulation, this vital gland begins to weaken in silence. Every erection, every release, is not just a fleeting moment of pleasure, it's a living signal of how well your cardiovascular system is functioning. When circulation is strong, the prostate is nourished with oxygen, minerals, and immune cells that keep it healthy. But when circulation slows, waste products build up, inflammation rises, and silent damage begins to take root. Daily masturbation doesn't just end at release, it actively shapes how oxygen and nutrients reach your prostate. Think of it as a flush for the system. Ejaculation helps clear out old fluids from the prostate ducts, reducing stagnation. But here's the catch: too much frequency can overwhelm your body's natural recovery process. Instead of cleansing, it may strain hormone levels like testosterone, and even trigger oxidative stress, which weakens tissues over time. Science supports this dual nature. A landmark 2016 Harvard study tracked over 30,000 men and found that those who ejaculated frequently in moderation, about 21 times per month, had a lower risk of developing prostate cancer. But researchers also noted that excessive or compulsive patterns could lead to fatigue, depleted energy, and hormonal shifts that create the opposite effect. This is why paying attention to your body is so critical. If you notice a sudden drop in stamina, unexplained fatigue, urinary changes like urgency or weak flow, or even a reduced quality of erections, these aren't just random signs. They're your prostate and circulatory system waving red flags. And here's the subtle but powerful truth: sometimes it's not the habit itself that harms you, but the frequency, intensity, and the state of your overall health while doing it. In balance, masturbation can flush out toxins, improve prostate resilience, and even act as a form of stress relief. But beyond the threshold, it quietly becomes a hidden burden, draining energy, altering blood flow, and increasing strain on a gland most men don't pay attention to, until it's too late. And this hidden burden doesn't stop there, because its effects ripple into areas of health most men never connect to this habit. But it's not just physical, the impact goes deeper into the mind. Masturbation can temporarily calm the nervous system, lowering stress hormones, improving sleep quality, and even lifting mood through the release of endorphins. For many men, it feels like a quick reset button after a long day. Yet for others, the same habit can quietly shift into dependency. Each release floods the brain with dopamine, the reward chemical. Over time, the brain may start craving that instant reward for every small frustration or stress, training you to seek relief instead of addressing the root cause. This is where a coping tool can blur into a hidden cycle of reliance, one that subtly reshapes mood, focus, and even motivation. And science confirms this. In 2014, researchers in Germany conducted brain imaging studies at the Max Planck Institute, and found that men who engaged in frequent pornography-linked masturbation showed reduced activity in the brain's reward centers. The finding was striking. It suggested that overstimulation could actually rewire how the brain processes motivation and pleasure. So the real question becomes this: are you guiding the habit, or has the habit begun guiding you? Understanding that distinction is critical, because what starts in the mind can echo back into your body in ways you may not expect. And this is where things get even more surprising, because the very same habit that influences your mood also leaves lasting effects on your prostate's long-term health. That's where we're headed next. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure you subscribe right now, because what's coming will connect the dots in a way you've never heard before. Now let's deal with the myths head-on. One of the most common claims is that masturbation weakens the prostate. The reality, however, is far more complex. Science shows that in moderation, ejaculation can actually support prostate health by clearing fluid buildup and improving circulation within the gland. In fact, a large-scale study published in 2004 by researchers at Boston University followed over 29,000 men and discovered something remarkable. Men who ejaculated more frequently, around 21 times a month, had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated less. This finding challenged decades of assumptions and opened the door to a more nuanced understanding of sexual health. But here's the crucial detail: moderation is the key. Too little activity may lead to stagnation, reduced circulation, and increased risk of inflammation. Yet too much can tip the balance the other way, leading to fatigue, hormonal disruption, and even microtrauma in tissues that need time to recover. So how much is too much? The answer may surprise you. It isn't about a single magic number. It's about listening to your body, noticing the signals it gives, and finding the rhythm that promotes health instead of harm. So what should you do if you're over 40? Start by being aware of your frequency. Balance is everything. Support your circulation with exercise, proper hydration, and a nutrient-rich diet. Pay attention to warning signs like urinary problems, constant fatigue, or declining performance. Your prostate often whispers before it screams, and catching those whispers early can save you from serious issues down the line. The real takeaway is simple: your habits shape your health, and balance is the difference between protection and risk. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more men can take control of their prostate health.